Why does this movie exist? Why? So yeah, Birdemic. So, oh boy, after years and years of hearing about this thing, I have finally seen Birdemic Shock and Terror, and oh my god. Well, first gotta give a plot summary. Birdemic Shock and Terror tells the story of a software salesman, Rod, played by Alan Brach. He's living in the Silicon Valley and meets this young fashion model, Natalie, played by Whitney Moore. Probably have a better sense of quality if Whitney Houston wasn't here. He meets a young fashion model named Natalie, played by Whitney Moore, and the two of them start dating, and before you know it, swarms of birds start attacking. They start spontaneously combusting, exploding, they spit acid, and they do the whole thing of, I'm not touching you, I'm trying to attack you, but I'm not touching you. So I know there's been a lot that's been said about this movie already, but since I just saw this movie this weekend, I feel like I have to get on camera and make a review about it. Because, whew. Now, let me first say, back on my old channel, AlexG8462, for last Halloween, I reviewed Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds. You can go check out that review there, but in short, I think it's no-brainer that's a classic. I absolutely love that movie, and it's one of my favorite horror movies ever made. And at the end of that review, I mentioned that I have not seen Birdemic. I only saw the trailer. But when I got around to seeing it, I would give my opinion on it. So, maybe a new channel, but here's what I feel about Birdemic. Ooh, speechless. Okay, just give me a few minutes and I'll let you know what I feel about the movie. Okay, so the quick summary is basically, when you go into Birdemic, you're basically going into the Red Wedding from Game of Thrones Season 3. You've heard how shocking and unbelievable this thing is, and yet it still won't prepare you for what lies ahead. This movie, despite everything I've heard, is even worse than I could have possibly imagined. Like, my mind was blown once I saw this movie. Oh, man, it has this stupid environmental message that makes absolute no sense and goes nowhere. It looks like the entire movie was recorded on basically the camera I'm recording with right now, but without sound. And given the fact that two, not one, but two boom operators were credited at the end of this movie, boggles my mind because it has horrible sound. It has awkward dialogue, the shittiest sound I've ever seen. I can't stress that enough. And its shots go for longer than necessary. Go like 10 seconds after a scene is done, I ended up yelling at the TV, "Cut! Cut!" And as for the birds themselves, the best way to describe them is it's like watching TV special effects from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Like, it's from the 90s and it's on TV. This is not acceptable for a movie in the 21st century. And that sound effect, oh my god, that one sound effect when the main characters are swinging coat hangers at the birds, the sound effect those birds make is probably the most single fucking annoying thing I have ever heard in my life. My ears were in pain hearing that sound effect over and over and over again. I absolutely hate that sound effect, and oh my god, that thing was unbearable. The first half of the movie is more boring, or as Riff Tracks calls it, the greatest movie about parked cars ever. The second part of the movie was the part where I thought, alright, this is going to be the best part. This is the part where I'm going to enjoy for how bad it is. Where all hell breaks loose, when shit hits the fan. And at first, it was, and then after a while, it was just like, I can't take this anymore. I was going crazy watching this movie, yelling at the screen. That last half of the movie ended up being so unbearable to watch. Not even Riff Tracks could save the viewing experience. It was just... There was a point where I just looked beyond the Riff Tracks joke at how crappy this movie was. And it was driving me nuts. I just was... sort of like how I'm acting right now. I just wanted to pull my hair out. And... it was so torturous. Now, there was a little kernel of a thing that I loved in this movie. It's not enough to save the movie, and this is probably going to be the point where I just lose all of my female subscribers, but seeing Whitney Moore in that baby blue bra and panties it just made me feel relaxed. And I know you have to sink pretty low when critiquing a movie to say, oh, well, the best part of it was seeing a half-naked girl in there. But really, this is Birdemic. That's all there is good to say about it. That's actually good. And this is not my fault. Birdemic, Shock and Terror, I guarantee, will make anybody turn sexist or into a temporary lesbian. It's that bad that you have to resort to, oh, the best part about this movie was seeing Whitney Moore half-naked. This movie just, it makes me want to go out and apologize to those other movies and filmmakers that I've criticized. Michael Bay, your Transformers movies are absolute shit. Story-wise, editing, acting, but at least you have good production values. And at least you've got some really, really cool special effects. Tommy Wiseau. The Room has been credited for being one of the worst movies ever made, if not the worst, until the existence of Birdemic. The fact alone that Tommy Wiseau's The Room had actual sound and looked like a feature film automatically makes it better than Birdemic. Birdemic right now is the absolute worst movie I have ever seen in my life. So this movie can burn in hell, but I feel that if I'm ever going to see this again, I only need to watch it through Riff Tracks with a lot of people, drunk as shit, high as a kite, and we might have just a great-ass time watching this. And plus, it gave me hope that if I survived Birdemic, I can survive any movie. So, Hollywood, whatever you got that's horrible, bring it on. That's my review for Birdemic. Leave a comment if you've seen the movie and if you've survived through it. Subscribe to my channel for more movie reviews in the future. Check out my other channel, AlexG8462. You'll see my review for The Birds on there. Like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, tell your friends about me. This has been The Cinemas with Mr. Robinson, and remember, know it before you see it. See you guys later. So yeah, Birdemic.